Good evening, good evening. I'm so glad to see all of us here, book club members, our new people who are joining us today. Karibuni sana. This is Iam Leading Book Club meeting, and I'm so glad that you are here, that you have invested time to be with us this evening. This is going to be super amazing. You are going to love everything about it, and here we are starting. So today we are going to discuss about the equation of becoming, unveiling the formula of personal growth and transformation. I wonder whether you have ever asked yourself, what is the formula that can make me tick? What is the formula that can help me become a better version of myself? How can I transform my life to be better? How can I make it that I grow from level 1 to level 5, from level 5 to level 10? And that is what we are going to be discussing today, the equation of becoming, because this is the year to become the next best version of yourself. So feel welcome, be at ease, invite your friends, and let's do this together. So I can see all of us here. I can see you, Anne. I can see we have a gentleman, Barnabas Buyuki. I can see Beatrice Cheboy, Brenda, our longtime friend, our sister Catherine, Karibuni Sana. And kindly fill in the chat where you are joining us from so that we can be able to appreciate you. You are several of you. I may not be able to count all of us. Damaris, I think that's a new name. Dr. Sarah, karibu sana. Florence, welcome back again. So good to have all of us here, our ladies and gentlemen. Today is an evening for learning and unlearning. Nancy, welcome, welcome, welcome. Kindly fill in the chat so that we can know where you are joining us from. Tapiwa says, good evening. Jane, good evening. Thank you for your greetings. Karibuni sana. Kindly let us know where you are joining us from. We want to appreciate you. Dora, welcome. Kifuniro, I think this is a new name. Welcome, Mary. Karibu sana. This is home to you. Jen is joining us from Eldoret. Mercy from Nairobi. This is so good. Oh, this is great. Nice. And Isabella, wow, from Embu. This is super, super amazing. Super amazing. And this is beautiful just to see the face of Kenya here. This is great. Kericho Joyce. Oh, South Africa, Tapiwa. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. The face of Africa now. We are moving on. Kerugoya, Florence, Rose from Rongo. Woo, the western part of Kenya. Mobi, you are in Mombasa. Beautiful. Rebecca, you're in Nairobi. This is so nice. That feels good to connect with all of us. This is super amazing. We are now 26 of us. Can we make it to 30? Bring them on. Yes, Catherine, our speaker from Nairobi, Karibu Sana, speaker, Rebecca also, Edith, another speaker, tuning in from Mombasa. This is good. This is good. Yes, so we are welcoming you all to the I Am Leading Book Club Season 14. We have done 14 seasons and we are moving on to season 15 starting April 2nd. Karibu sana, feel at home. Now we have a good quorum, 27, 3 more to go. Bring them on, remind them that the meeting is on. And this is amazing. So today's session is question of becoming. And I don't know whether you are like me, when anytime you hear equation, it takes you to the mathematical formula. Yes, this is the equation of becoming. There is a formula to become. So don't just be stuck in the darkness. There is a formula for you to become. Today we are unveiling the formula for personal growth and transformation. Wow, this is nice. Someone calls herself or himself stamps. Beautiful, karibu, karibu sana. We are still stuck at 27, so I'm moving on. I didn't want to leave anyone behind. So becoming, who do you want to become? I have the first formula, which is becoming equals no stagnation. Woo? Think of that. Becoming equals, that is the first formula, no stagnation. Many times we are stuck in our lives. We are stuck. We are no longer changing. We are at the same spot we were last year, the same spot we were last month, the same spot and not moving at all. We are not evolving to the next best version of ourselves. We are stuck. And today we are saying no to being stuck. We are saying no to being stagnant, because you know what stagnant waters do. They breed mosquitoes and all the snails. We don't want that as part of our lives. So we want to keep on evolving to the next best version of ourselves. We want to keep on improving. We want to keep on adapting to the environment, because the landscape changes every day, every week, every month. So the person you were last month cannot take you to the next version that you require in April. That's why it is continuous learning, continuous unlearning, and continuous relearning. And that's why we are here this evening. The formula of becoming starts with no stagnation. You can't be stagnant in this kind of environment when you want to be the next best version. You have to keep on enhancing. You have to enhance your life. You have to keep on refining and repositioning yourself for you to take charge of the opportunities that are presented to you every day, because every day is an opportunity for you to be the next best version of yourself. So today, that is the formula. Those who are joining us, it's about the equation of becoming. And this evening and throughout all the conversations, plus the surprise guest speaker, it's all going to be about unveiling the formula of personal growth and transformation. And I want you to start thinking, when you hear the word transformation, I want you first to think about how the butterfly evolves. Once it becomes a butterfly with wings, it can never go back to the initial stage. It can never be a larva anymore. So that is the kind of transformation we are talking about this evening, where it is total transformation. You have grown and transformed. It's literally 360 degrees affecting every area of your life. Kindly mute your mic, because we are changing, we are evolving, we are improving, we are adapting, we are enhancing, and we are refining. And I want to ask you that question. Are you becoming this far? Remember, this is March, already past mid-March. At the beginning of the year, you made so many resolutions. Where are you? Are you stuck? Are you stagnant? Take a look at your health, at your wellness, at your fitness. Where are you? Are you at the same spot we started the year with? Maybe you are just stuck then, but have you evolved? Have you improved? Do you take time to work out? Do you take time to increase the level of your hydration? What is happening in your life? Are you enhancing your fitness, your wellness, your health? Take a look again at your finances, at your wealth creation, at your money. Do you save every time a tenth of what you earn? Or do you first pay your debts and keep on saying, I will save, and the story goes on and on? Are you improving? Are you refining yourself in that area? Are you getting specialized knowledge about wealth creation? Or you're stagnant? Becoming equals no stagnation. Look at yourself. You've been working so hard, so hard. Have you created time within the 2.5 months just to have rest for self-care? Have you taken time to connect with your hobbies, those things that you love doing, those things that bring you joy? Where have you been? Are you adapting to the environment? You say it is busy. I am so busy. I'm so busy. Are you adapting? Are you looking for ways? Are you creative? Are you innovative? Are you enhancing this area of your life? Talk about your relationships, starting with your own creator. Have you taken time to improve that relationship? Or are you stagnant? Stagnant waters breed snails. We don't want to be there. Are you evolving? Do you take time to pray? Do you take time to devote to him, to surrender? Do you create that time where you keep on saying, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy? Where are you? Are you refining your life? Think about your spouse, your better half. When is the last time you had a beautiful conversation? When is the last time you had a date dinner, coffee, whatever it means, or a date night? Or you went out for holiday together, just the two of you? Are you still stuck? Or are you refining that relationship with your spouse? What about your children? Are you having meaningful conversations with them? Do they feel they are appreciated? Are you enhancing that relationship? What about to your clients, to your colleagues, to your family, to your friends, to your parents? Are you changing how you have been living your life? Are you stuck? Becoming equals no stagnation. Think about your contribution. In this life, you live with others. How are you serving others except yourself? How are you reaching out to the society, to the community, to the neighbors, to people around you? Are you a change agent? That is the conversation we are having this evening. What about your personal environment, starting from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet? Again, the environment that you stay in. How is it going for you? Are you changing? Are you evolving? Are you refining that area? What about your mental wellness? Are you overstressed? Now it is time to take charge. Becoming equals no stagnation. Welcome all who are joining us this evening. This is an amazing conversation today. The question of becoming, unveiling the formula for personal growth and transformation. And as we do this evening, because I have a lineup of amazing speakers, I want you to start challenging yourself to be better, because that is what is going to take you to the next level. You can't do things the way you have always done. You have to change how you have always done things for you to get better results. So you have to challenge yourself to be better. It won't happen automatically. You have to stretch yourself. You have to throw yourself out of the comfort zones so that you move to the next level. And as you do this, I want you to know that it's not about competition. It's about the person you see in the mirror. That is the person you are competing with. Am I better than yesterday? Am I better than last week? Am I better than last month? That is the person that you are competing with, not with anyone. So don't start comparing yourself with anyone. It is your journey of becoming. Welcome to this conversation. So who is speaking to you this evening? My name is Lois Mutesi, and I'm your host this evening because I host the I Am Leading Book Club, and I'm so excited that you are here. This month, it was an amazing month because on 8th March, we celebrated the International Women's Day. And when I was asked to give a quote for that day, I said, every woman, call it a man, call it a child, everyone has a voice that can change the world. So this evening, are you stepping in and utilizing your voice so that you can become? That is the question I'm asking, because becoming takes you to step back into your power. Becoming means you are stepping into your greatness, and you do this unapologetically because you are worthy. If you are listening to me this evening, get to know that you are worthy. And I am worthy. And that's why I am here this evening, because I am here to evolve and impact lives. And I'm encompassing the world with my love and my light. And like a torch, as you can see this bulb, illuminating light and letting my own brilliance be a beacon of hope in the process of becoming, in the process of growth, in the process of this change that you are going through, in the process of self-discovery. And it is my desire that through my own story of becoming, I'm going to ignite purpose in your life. I'm going to ignite excellence in your life. I'm going to ignite greatness in your life. That's why I'm here. I am here, Lois Muteti, to impact your life this. And one of the ways I've been impacting my lives, as you can see here, is I am the newest author in town. And I just authored a book called She Leads Volume 4. This book talks about optimizing the power of coaching to unlock the leadership within you. So if you haven't gotten your copy, get it today. Because these ladies, and this is just a sample of the ladies that have gotten this book, and it is moving places. It has been bought at Amazon, and I am so excited to be having these conversations about leadership. So this is one of the books, those who are joining season 15, that we are going to study once again. So if you haven't gotten your book, it is time now to evolve. It's time now to change your mindset that tells you this is expensive and start seeing yourself as worthy of buying this book worth only Kenya shillings 3,000. And I will be so happy to facilitate this for you. So thank you, ladies who have taken time to believe in themselves and to believe in their own story, that through coaching, we can transform the world. Through coaching, we can transform the world. So back to business. Season 14 of the Iam Leading Book Club, we have read 3 books this season. The first book that set up the tone of the theme for 2024 was Becoming, the book by Michelle Obama. And this evening, we shall have some nuggets from a few ladies who mastered this book. The next book we read was Who Moved My Cheese? And we also have ladies who are going to talk to us about who moved my cheese. The next conversation was on What Got You Here Won't Get You There, a book by Marshall Goldsmith, and it was a game changer. And throughout the reading of these books, we studied, not just read, but studied the books. We journaled. Like myself, I had that journal, a guided journal for becoming and discovering your voice. I bought that journal just to help me to journal my lessons as I did season 14. So these are the books that we are going to hear stories about the takeaways the ladies in the book club have had. And welcome all of us. This is for our families. This is for our children. This is for our spouses. So if you have not invited them, kindly invite them. This is for your teams at work. Invite them to join us in this conversation. And I want now to invite our first speaker. Our first speaker is Millicent Kaindo. Millicent serves as a counseling psychologist. And when I asked her a few questions, this is how she answered. She said, family, she's married. She is blessed with 3 girls, and you can imagine 5 years, 3 years, and she has the smallest baby, 4 months. And even with this kind, this staircase of children, she did not give herself an excuse. She read the books. When I asked her how many seasons she has been in the book club, she told me this is the first time. So this is amazing, Millicent, for you accepting to be one of our speakers, this being the first time in the book club. You are becoming. This is not the person you were in January. This is a different Millicent. And when I asked her whether she still wants to enroll for season 15, this is what she told me. Yes, because becoming is a lifetime process and not a one-time event. Millicent, take it away. Now it's your chance.
Thank you very much, Coach Lois. I am delighted to be here. It is such a pleasure to join these amazing ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy. As you've heard, my name is Millicent, and kindly allow me not to turn on my video because I know if I do so, it may have interaction with the internet.
No problem.
Thank you. But at least
able
you've
to
seen
share
my
your screen now. Share the
Okay. As you have heard, my name is Millicent Kaindo. I am a counseling psychologist, and my journey of becoming has been a long one, but I thank God that it is taking a good trajectory from this year going on forward. And maybe to take you back on how my journey of becoming began. My journey of becoming began a while back, not so long ago, but 2-3 years ago. I had been in a career for 10 years. I was an accountant. I had done CPA and I had done a degree in finance and worked for a decade. But if I'm to take you back, even when I was starting a course in counseling, in accounting, I knew that was not what I was meant to do. I didn't have the conviction to do it. But because of many reasons that I may not be able to explain, I found myself in that professional. I did the courses, I finished, I graduated, I got a job, and I was stuck in that job for 10 years. Did I grow? No, I didn't. Did I stagnate? Yes, I did. I stagnated for a whole 10 years. And to me, if I'm to relate that to the books that we've been reading, I held on to the old cheese because that was familiar, because it was comfortable, and it was what I was used to. I did not want to spread my wings and go out and find out or find the new cheese. I just wanted to hold on to the old cheese. But thankfully, I got an encounter. I think God was driving me to what I'm supposed to do. And around 2021 is when I said enough is enough. I am not growing, I am not serving my purpose, and I think I need to make that shift. And that is when I enrolled in a course in counseling. I did that for 2-3 years, and I told myself I'm not going to give myself excuses because, as you have heard my profile, I am a mother of 3, and my babies are staircases to say the least. So I told myself, because I've been always giving myself excuses, I really need to stop giving myself excuses. So I did that with a full-time job, 6 days a week, going to casting the evening. Finally, I graduated and I transitioned last year, and I'm now a counseling psychologist. I really thank God because I feel fulfilled. I feel that I'm serving my purpose. I feel that I am doing what I was meant to do. And I am proud of myself that I was able to let go of the old cheese and look for new cheese, which is sweet and amazing. Why am I in this book club? I realized that I cannot continue doing things the same. I need to improve myself. I need to hold myself accountable. I need a group of women who we are walking the journey together. Because even as the famous quote goes, if you want to walk faster, you walk alone. If you want to go far, you walk with someone. So that is how I found myself here. How has the journey been? It has been an eye-opening experience for me, because I have always wanted to build a culture of reading. I've always wanted to improve my intellectual, to grow intellectually. But every time I set myself to read a book, I would find myself not completing. I will find myself giving up along the way. And I think this book club have helped me to be accountable, because when you're seeing others are updating that they have read, and you know that you have not read, you are motivated and challenged to push through. So that is what it has done for me. We have something in the book club called Victory Hour. That has been a challenge for me because of the way my life is currently. But I told myself, I may not find a solid 1 hour to do the victory hour. So my victory hour looked very different. If I get 20 minutes to pray, I pray. If I get another 5 to exercise, I exercise. If I get another 10 to meditate, I meditate. I never got a solid 1 hour to do that. But I told myself that I must do it, however it looks like, provided I get the result at the end of the day. So that is what I have been doing. It is definitely a life-changing experience. And once you keep on, once you build this culture, you're even building it for your children, you're building it for the generation to come. So everyone out there who has not joined the book club, this is a place to be. You will grow, you will have an amazing experience. Now on to the book. I am going to give my takeaways because I don't have a lot of time on this book by the title, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And first, when I saw the title, I thought to myself, oh, what a title. And then I asked myself, now, if what got me here won't get me there, what got me here won't get me there, what happens to my consistency? What happens to my past experiences? What happens to my education? What happens to all those things that I've gathered along the journey? But as I read through the book, I realized the only consistent thing in this life can only be change. It is only change that is consistent. And I remember as we were doing this book, I was also doing a challenge on New Testament reading. And I am a Christian, so I looked at how Jesus was doing his work. And as much as we want to say Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, he did not do his ministry the same. If you are to look at how he was healing people, he was to look at how he was performing miracle, there is no miracle that is the same with the other. So even God himself, Jesus himself, who is the Son of God, embraces change, does not believe in one formula, believes in doing things differently. Who are we not to embrace change? So onto the habits, I can say that I related with most of them. But number one was making excuses, because I have been making excuses for the last 10 years, saying my family is small, I have a small baby, I have a full-time job. When will I get an opportunity to study and become the person that I'm supposed to become? But Barack Obama says there is no excuse for not trying. There's absolutely no excuse for not trying. So making excuses is not a choice. You don't need to make any excuse. You better try. You better try. There's no excuse for not trying. Habit number 2 that I resonated with so much is failing to give proper recognition. There is a particular preacher, Nigerian pastor by the name Funeke Adijimo. She likes talking about there is no self-made man. From the womb to the tomb, you need people. You cannot give yourself, you cannot give birth to yourself. You cannot take care of yourself as an infant. You cannot even bury yourself. So from the womb to the tomb, you need people. And how much do you appreciate these people that have come along or have contributed in one way or the other in your life? So I thought to myself, how good am I at this? Do I have an entitlement mentality that I feel my mother should take care of me, my mother should take me to school, my spouse should do ABCD? So I challenged myself and I just looked back at my life and uh, made a list of those people that have contributed to my life positively, of course. And I said that come the end of this year, I'll make sure that I reach to at least a 50% of it and tell them you impacted my life in this way. And for that reason, I am grateful. Uh, moving on, after the habits, of course, there are many of them that I resonated with, but those are the most that caught my attention. There's place in here for feedback. Uh, and I think I really struggled in this area, feedback. And what the author was talking about it was giving an analogy of a Johari window. The things you know about yourself, others know. The things you don't know, others know. And he was talking about the blind spot, the things that you don't know about yourself that other people know about you. The only way that you can know about your blind spot is when people give you feedback. So how well do you receive feedback? Are you that kind of a person that you're given feedback, you get offended, you start criticizing the feedback, or you start giving an opinion to it? And the author was saying the best thing that you can do when you receive feedback, whether it is positive or negative, your default should be thank you. You can go bisect the feedback after you're done with it, but you should not give an opinion to feedback. You should not criticize it. Even if it is a compliment, don't add too much value to it. Just appreciate and say thank you. This was a big challenge for me because I realized I always find myself giving an opinion to it or adding some value. Someone compliments me, I'm like, yes, I did that. I thought of this one would work, so that is why I did it. So it was a challenge for me, and I challenged myself. I sat a very significant person in my life, and I told him, I just want you to give me feedback. How am I doing as a person? How am I doing as a mother? How am I doing as a friend? And I really struggled with not giving feedback, with not giving an opinion or adding value to it. I passed that exam of not giving an opinion, but I was not, the default did not come out automatically of me saying thank you. I found myself saying, I hear you, but I think I tried. So feedback is a very big thing because that is how it enhances our blind spot. So the author was talking about giving, uh, accepting feedback, don't bisect it. The default should only be thank you. I see time is going, but I'm about to finish. The other bit on the book is about apologizing. And the author was talking about forgiveness. And he defines forgiveness as letting go of the hope for a better past. Sometimes in our journey of becoming, we find that people have offended us, people have stepped on us in a wrong way. We have rubbed shoulders with people, and we feel like we hold that bitterness within us. But if you ever want to become, if you want to move forward, we have to let go of the past by forgiving those people who have wronged us, by apologizing to those people we have offended, because you also have to take the part of our blame and apologize to those people who have wronged, apologize to those people that we think we have offended in our journey of becoming. Because if we hold on to that bitterness, we hold on to that entitlement, what we are doing to ourselves, we are holding on to a hope for a better past, which is not possible. So when we let go of the bitterness, when we let go of the grudges that we may be holding, what we are simply saying is we are embracing change and we are hoping for a better future, which is possible. The author also challenges us to think of what will your old self tell your younger self. If you are to imagine yourself now you're older, what can you tell your younger self? What can you encourage her to do or him to do? What can you advise him to do? Which path can you tell him he's supposed to take? And this is what my older self told my younger self, that the best time to change is not yesterday, The best time to change is not today. The best time to change is not next year. The best time to change is right now. The best time to become the best version of myself is right now. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Millicent. Indeed, the best time to change is now. And that's why we are having this conversation about the becoming equation, the equation for becoming. Kindly give your love hearts to Millicent in the chat. You can imagine a mother of those children, and she has been showing up powerfully, powerfully. No excuses at all. So thank you so much. We appreciate you, Millicent. Thank you so much for sharing, and we acknowledge you. We are moving fast because I have 7 ladies. So the first one is done. So allow me now to introduce the other lady who is joining us for the presentation. That was Millicent. I think the next one is Rose. So kindly let me introduce Rose to us. So Rose. Yes, here we are. So we are so happy now to have Rose with us. Hey, why is it refusing? It's doing something else. Just a minute. Yes. So Rose is there with us. Rose is an amazing lady. She is a lecturer by profession. That's who she is, a lecturer by profession. And her area is communication, media, and journalism. And she tells me she's also pursuing a PhD in the same field. Amazing women here. She's also a certified secretary. Oh my greatness. This is amazing, Rose. And when I asked her about her family, she said she's a wife and a mother. And how many seasons she has been in the book club? She told me this is the first season in the book club. So we acknowledge you, Rose, for showing up powerfully when it is your first season. When I asked her whether she's enrolling for season 15 and why, she said definitely, because it has been an experience of becoming, learning and relearning, and getting new insights every day. So Rose, here is your turn. Take it away. Thank you. Rose? Beautiful.
Good evening. Thank you, Coach, for the wonderful introduction. As the coach has clearly stated, my name is Rosa Chieng, and this is my first time in the book club, and I think I've been missing a lot. I remember it was last year. I was very heavily expectant, and my mother told me you should join this. It's a program. I was like, which program? I told her I'm not joining because I'll have a young baby and I'll be sleeping, so I'll not have time to participate. And I clearly told her I no. So one evening she invited me. I think it was a review of books. I think that was last year, December. And I joined. So I said, okay, let me hear so that she feels good. So I joined and I had. So I was like, wow. Okay, so I started now getting interested, and that is why I'm here today. So I got very interested and I enrolled not only for the book club, and currently I'm also doing Unleash the She Leader. So it has been a journey, and one of the best gifts she's ever given me. So that is how I ended up in becoming season 14. The book I'm going to review today is Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is a book that I have really resonated with. It took me back from when I was a young girl up to where I am today, because I was able to relate to her story, because when you read her story, it's not she was not born in a high-end family. She was born in a um, middle working class family, and in this she grew up just like any other normal girl. And it is her journey that actually made me really resonate with this particular book. And when I looked at the story of Michelle Obama, I saw self-discovery. And actually, it started right from when she was young, because you even could see throughout the text that she was uh, very aware. And actually, she even had her own voice right from when she was young. And actually, all the way from childhood to becoming actually the First Lady of the United States of America. Now, in this, my review, I decided to look at it in around 5 lenses, so that I broke the journey of Michelle Obama into various categories. And the first lens I looked at this story was as a child. And when you look at Michelle Obama, she was born and brought up in the south side of Chicago in the USA. And as I've said, she came from a middle-class working family. And it was a family of 4, where it was her father, the mother, and his brother. And as they were growing up, this is a family that the parents actually gave both her and his older brother space of their own to make decisions for which they were also responsible for. So yes, as they grew up. However, the parents also gave them space. And which brings me back to how do we raise up our children? As they grow up, do we even give them the space? Do they have a voice in the family? Or it is all systems go, so that we say as a parent, this is supposed to be done this way, and if there's no any other way, so it's kind of a military. However, we see the mentorship started right from the beginning, where the parents actually were very, very positive in her life. And even as her parents taught her the importance of never letting anyone to walk over them, both her and the brother. And they were to stand up actually to anyone who tried to bully them. So for me, again, I learned a lot from Michelle Obama's parents. And this spirit is actually she also carried when she was actually raising up her own kids. This is Amalia and Sasha. So for me, I've seen her, right from this age up to when now, as a child, until now, she progressed now where she started her career. So even when you look at later on at her life, I saw her father passed on when she was working. And later on, when she became the First Lady of the United States of America, her mother was still present in her life. So I saw the importance of parents actually in the life of our children. So her mother has been there for her through and through, up to when she was the First Lady of the United States of America, until she even moved in with her, so that she also helped in taking care of the grandchildren. So that was my takeaways in regards to Michelle Obama as a child. So I also looked at her in the lens of a career woman, and she graduated from 2 Ivy League schools. These are the prestigious universities there are 2 among 8 in the United States of America. And actually she rose from being a lawyer dealing with the intellectual property, all the way to the vice president of community and external affairs in the University of Chicago. And it is this where now she actually left now to go and support her husband, the 44th president of the United States of America. So again, in her career, we see this is a woman who started from graduating. She started working in a law firm. And again, she allowed herself to transition, because at some point she did not feel herself actually as she was working as a lawyer, and actually she transitioned now into public service. So again, we see her again as the coach was saying, change. So again, changing again to different careers that actually now made her comfortable. So that is it in regards to Michelle Obama as a career woman. I also looked at her in the lens of friendship. And you can see throughout her life, right from childhood, Michelle had her friends. And when you look at her friends, she had friends who were very, very close, right from childhood to college. Until in college, she actually lost one of her friends when she was actually working later on. And then even as a career woman, this is where she got a lot of friends. And through her career, these are some of the women who actually even helped her progress as she was now campaigning for the husband. These are women who actually stepped up and stepped in the gap and actually helped her when she was campaigning until the husband actually became the president of the United States of America. So again, this is a lesson for me where to value friendship. In my life, I've also experienced friends who have actually become family, friends who have stood in the gap, friends who are always there for us. And this is actually the social capital, so that who is there for you, who stands in the gap, or as our first presenter was saying, there are people who will always stand in the gap. So again, I've learned friendship is very, very key. And even later on, when she became the first lady of the United States of America, she did not abandon these friends. And even though her schedule was still too busy and extremely busy, she still had time to come back and just have a time to actually fellowship with her friends. And actually, sometimes they would even go for a road trip and just have a weekend getaway with her friends. So again, in this, I'm seeing friendship, so that as much as, yes, we are climbing up the corporate ladder, or we are going up in regards to life, but again, where do we now forget about our friendships? Because again, she was the first lady of the United States of America. Again, she could block them, but still, she opened the doors of White House just for her friends to still access her. And one of the quotes she stated about friendship is that friendship between women, as any woman will tell you, are built over 1,000 small kindness, swapped back and forth, over and over again. So it is this small kindness that actually now made her to really, really appreciate her friends. And even later on, even after the husband finished her term as the president of the US, you still see, when you still look at her life, she's still very, very close, and she's still very particular about friendships. Later on, again, Michelle Obama got married. She met her husband, the president of the United States of America, when she was working in the law firm. So they later on ended up getting married. And in her marriage, of course, we know marriages. Sometimes we might think she had a very, very rosy marriage, but in her book, she clearly states that her marriage was not all rosy. And actually, they had a lot of ups and downs. And she even continued to explain that as her husband Obama became more and more involved in politics, again, her frustration as a wife also grew, because now Obama was actually spending a lot of time away from home. And even when now he became the senator, he will now spend more time actually away from home, so that he'll maybe come back over during the weekends from Thursday or Friday, and then leave again when the week began. So again, as a wife, and she was still a young wife, this is when they just had their baby, the first baby, and also Sasha. She was still very young. So her frustration really, really grew, that actually their marriage actually hit rock bottom. And at a point, they also went for counseling as a couple, which actually now became a turnaround point for her life. And this is where now she discovered that instead of now complaining all the time about the husband, what can she do to herself? And this is where we have the self-love coming in. So she decided to actually now give attention to herself, so that instead of now waiting for the husband to come, and she was getting frustrated, now she decided to love herself more and more. And even she started now enrolling for gym, and now just loving herself and being there for the kids. Of course, understanding that the husband is also doing whatever he is supposed to do for himself. So he was actually now more driven towards the husband. So it was like, so after the first week now, she came back to herself and she now decided to give time and attention to herself. And in this, I also learned that we as women, as wives, as mothers, the moment we give attention to ourselves, we become happy. Then we find that the family also, those people around us, especially our spouses and even the children now, it actually radiates in them. You see the happiness in this. Still, as a wife again, she actually sacrificed her career to support her husband. And this is when she was working in the University of Chicago. And when the husband declared that he wanted to run for the president of the US, she actually sacrificed and put her career on hold so that now she can support her husband. And in doing this, we see she actually took up the campaign trail and really campaigned. She was actually holding parallel campaigns. As the husband was going to one direction, she was going in the opposite, still campaigning for the husband. And also, there's no time. Of course, some of us would be like, after all, it is his campaign. So what we do as wives would stay back at home. But no, she left the house and she went and actually campaigned for the husband. And we see during these campaigns, when you read the text, we find that she actually was the human face of her husband. Because we find that of course, when the husband was campaigning, it was more to do with policy. However, when now she was also campaigning for the husband, now she brought the human face to the presidential campaign. That was it in regards to a wife. So I learned so much in regards to being a wife that yes, we should start by loving ourselves as wives, so that now we are able to even love our children and even love our spouses and love all our family members. And also, there are times that we'll need actually to also sacrifice and support our spouses and also standing by them regardless. Of course, not only now during campaigns, sometimes we'll have other situations that we'll need and call that we also support our spouses. So as a wife, that was the lens I saw Michelle Obama. As a mother, again, we see her story. She clearly stated that she really struggled to conceive. And it took a lot of time by the time they got pregnant. And after getting pregnant again, they tried again, but for the second baby, it was a little bit easier. And as a mother, again, we find that she stood in the gap for the family because the father was actually consumed by the political life. I clearly stated that the father would be away. Obama would be away from the home because they were living in Chicago. And when Obama became the president, he went to Washington. So most of the time, he was now traveling back and forth. So Michelle now had to stand in the gap so that she was there for her children and stand in the gap in the gap of their father. So again, as she made career choices, actually she encompassed motherhood because there was a time when she was called for an interview in the University of Chicago. She showed up with Sasha, who was by then 4 months old, and she went just for the interview with her. Of course, everybody it was a surprise to even the people who were interviewing her, but later on, she even went and got the job. And even as she was attending the interview, she clearly made her demands, and she was like, yes, I'm taking, if I get the job, this is what I'd expect. And she clearly stated that she really need a lot of time because she had a young baby. And yes, she got that plus the salary plus the time she asked so that she could also be able to raise her kids well. Then later on, when she became the floaters, we see that she actually raised her 2 girls in White House. And we all know what in the US, it's actually considered as one of the most powerful, actually it is the powerful nation in the world. So as the first lady was raising up her children, of course, it was in the full glare of all the cameras. So yes, these were children raised up in the full glare of cameras. And even as this was happening, she did not give up in being a mother and a parent to her daughters. And even when the daughters had school events, she showed up regardless of the security details. Of course, you know, when the first lady is just even living from one place to the other, the security and all that, but still she managed to actually show up to her daughter's events and be there for them during when they really needed her. And again, despite the initial challenges of public curiosity, of course, when the First Lady is passing, even just going to the school, of course, everybody would stand and watch. But still in this, Michelle Obama and the husband of the President Obama, they try to maintain a sense of normalcy for their daughters. And even we see, even when you continue reading the text, that even when they were in the White House, their tasks that the mother clearly stated that, yes, fine, they are the daughters of the president, but they are tasks that they'll still continue to do as children or any other child. So again, as a mother, I've also learned a lot from this. And yes, sometimes situations will call that we step in and stand in the gap for our families. So yes, that is it. Sometimes our career choices also will require us maybe to change or just shift a little bit so that we might able to now be able to take care of the family. Because all this, as she was doing all this, at the back of our mind, the family was very, very at the core. So this actually is the lens of Michelle Obama as a mother. Then lastly is Michelle Obama as the First Lady of the United States of America. So for this, it was a very difficult task for her, because when you read the text right from when she was campaigning, we could see criticisms about Michelle Obama. And it was so much that at some point she actually felt like giving up. And even when she still went ahead and became the First Lady of the US, we see that she was really criticized because of her race. And this was the first time we are having president of color taking over the United States of America. So again, there are always anything small, they were under the lenses and the camera all the time. So she was criticized for her race just because she was a woman of color. Then again, because of her weight, there are some of her initiatives that actually she initiated in the White House. And one of them was about healthy living. And we see actually they would even call her fat, and they were like, why is she running this campaign? And her herself, she looked fat, or they said she had weight. So again, we see that this was also another challenge for her, and she was really criticized in regards to this, and even her appearance. This still was a challenge to her. Also discrimination just because she was a woman, and then again, a woman of color. So these are some of the challenges she faced as the First Lady of America. Regardless of facing all these challenges, again, we see that she did not give up. Instead, she went ahead and initiated even various initiatives as the First Lady of the United States of America. We all know that this is an office that comes without responsibilities. So again, she could still choose as the First Lady to just enjoy the luxuries and the power that comes with her being the spouse to the president. However, she did not sit back. She actually came up with 4 initiatives through the 8 years they were in power. The president was in power. And the first initiative was the Let's Move. And this actually targeted childhood obesity. And this is actually even where now we saw a lot of criticisms in regards to her weight. And in this initiative, actually, she was actually encouraging kids to participate in physical activities so that actually, and even take up more nutritious food options. And in this, actually, she even went ahead and actually did the White House kitchen garden. And this food was actually consumed in White House and even given to the local community around. Then she also came up with another initiative, the Reach Higher Initiative, and this actually focused on higher education. Here, actually, she was really campaigning for all students, the young, both genders, to actually continue with their higher education. And then she also had another initiative, the Let's Girl Learn, sorry. And in this initiative, actually, it was to empower young girls across the entire globe to secure quality education. And she was also very passionate about the forces. And actually, she even now, the military families, especially those who had gone and came back. And in this, she actually came up with an initiative, her and the vice president's wife that was Biden then, And she came up with an initiative of rallying American civilians and the organizations to actually support the US service members and the veterans and their families who had actually come back. So instead of actually sitting back and just enjoying the luxuries, we see that actually she used her position positively to actually bring change to the society, and she brought change to children and in regards to the education sector and also to the military. So again, that is how she used her position. And my takeaways as I wind up is that I looked at all these, there are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas, and in all these aspects, actually she was becoming, right from when she was a child to a career woman, in her friendships, as a wife, and lastly, even as the first lady. She actually, as she was going through all this, she used her voice again to create a positive impact in the society. Again, we find that she was a source of inspiration, and actually she even is a source of inspiration to me, because as a woman of color, they went ahead and scaled the ceiling. So again, she is and remains actually to be a source of inspiration. Actually, she has left a legacy for us as women actually to emulate. And then she empowered not only the colored women, but all women, all mothers, and all persons generally. And actually, she even became beyond herself. And every other time when you read the book, right from the beginning, you should always ask this question: am I good enough? And we also see that, yes, she even she did not fear to actually let out her insecurities. And all of us, we all have our insecurities. Sometimes we second guess ourselves, so that we are like, if you're given a task, you ask yourself, am I good enough? Will I be able to do it? Will I be able to execute it well? So we also see this in her. She became vulnerable even as she was telling her story, and she did not hide her vulnerability, and she would always ask, am I good enough? So yes, sometimes we'll second guess ourselves, but again, we should always take the opportunity and try. And we also see the fear of the unknown. Yes, she feared, but again, through her fears, she still went ahead and conquered her fears. And lastly, as a media practitioner, I could not leave the use of media. I analyzed, how did she use media to her advantage? This media, that it's the same media that, of course, the public were using, of course, to criticize her. However, she took the media again and harnessed the use of the power of media and she turned it around to use it now as an opportunity. So in this, she ensured that all the initiatives got very, very extensive media coverage. So that's because she, of course, as the first lady, wherever you go, the media would be there. So again, instead of now wallowing in pain that, of course, the public is still using the media to attack her, she turned around the challenge actually to an opportunity, and still now use the media coverage to her advantage. And even post her becoming the first lady of America, she has still continued to use media very positively. And we see that she has been doing a lot of talk shows. She also has a podcast, and she's even done documentaries on Netflix. Netflix is the in thing right now. And we see even this book Becoming, it's actually on she's done a documentary on it on Netflix, and the other one, The Light We Carry, still she's done a documentary. So in this, she actually has used media and she has actually harnessed the use of the power of media to her advantage and actually turned it to an opportunity. And lastly, as I end with a quote that from Michelle Obama again, that there's no magic to achievement. It's really about the hard work, choices, and persistence. So it's not magic. So we see in all this, it was not magic. She just did not sleep and wake up as a princess or as the first lady of the United States of America. No, she worked hard, and of course she made choices. She would have made a choice. I remember when the president wanted to actually run for the presidency, she said, if Michelle is not going to support her, then she's not going to run for the presidency. So yes, she gave a nod. So these are some of the choices that even both now become the first lady of the United States of America. And again, our persistence. So in all that we do, there's hard work, we have choices. Of course, we know choices, there are two. Well, when you make a choice, it's either good or bad. And then, and also persistence still really comes out clearly in this, because even as we are becoming our habits, for example, the book club, are we reading these books? Because if you start and you become persistent, then you'll find that later on it becomes a habit. So again, those are some of my key takeaways, so that I even said in the beginning that I'm still doing season 15, and if 16 will be there and God willing I'll be there, I'll still do it. So that is it in regards to this presentation. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Rose Achieng, for that amazing presentation. You have analyzed it, Michelle, as a career woman. So no excuses, ladies, about your career. Michelle, with her friendships, we have learned it all. Michelle, as a wife, oh my goodness, to a busy man. And how many excuses do we usually give ourselves? Michelle as a mother, and how intentional she has been. Michelle as the first lady, and of course, that is the lady to emulate, and that's why we are having this conversation this evening is about becoming. Thank you so much, Rose. Kindly appreciate Rose in the chat. Now we are moving on, and we continue with this conversation. And now I have this before I invite the next Michelle. For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as a forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. And this journey, ladies and gentlemen, does not end. That's why we are still here discussing about this. So we have heard from Joy. We'll also hear again from one of the ladies what her takeaways were in that book, Becoming. Now, allow me to introduce our next two speakers who are going to do it together. And no, before that, we have Elizabeth Mulai. Elizabeth Mulai is a communication and PR professional. She will tell us more about herself, but she has been in the book club for a number of seasons now, and she has influenced, she's an influencer. She has influenced several people in this book club just because of her word and her transformation. Whatever she has seen, she's always inviting people. Even in the Woman of Excellence I've just seen, she's telling people, come, come, come. That is Elizabeth for you, a communication and PR professional. Elizabeth, take it away.
Coach. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Yeah, I would request if you can share the screen, Coach.
Oh, you can share. Okay, let me. I was putting them there for just a minute then. So welcome, Elizabeth. Want to hear from you. Move, my Teas.
Yes.
My Teas by Elizabeth.
You're able to see, ladies?
No, I've gotten it. I've gotten it. I hope it's a one. Is it me or you sharing? You got it.
You can share your version.
I hope
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
one, Elizabeth. It's a one.
Yes, it's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, welcome, ladies. My name is Elizabeth. As the coach has introduced me, I'm a communication specialist working in the government. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children. I have an 18-year-old girl and 11-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. I'm also a wife to one lovely man. I'm a farmer. I love reading and I love gardening. So let's, this is the second time I'm reading the Who Moved My Cheese. And also, it also comes at a period when we are all starting the year. When you are starting the year, everybody wants to begin everything as afresh. So since this is the second book that we read, I could start with, we have all eaten cheese. When you go to the supermarket, we see the cheeses the way they are differently arranged. But in this perspective, cheese is a metaphor of what we want in life. When we wake up in the morning, everybody is saying, I'm looking for cheddar. You wake up in the morning, you are going to work to look for a way of living. When you're also in a relationship, that is also cheese. The money that we make, a big house, freedom, health, and recognition, our spiritual peace, or even an activity like jogging or golf. That is how we are supposed to be looking at the cheese in our lives. So each one of us has an idea of what cheese is, and we pursue it every day, believing that it makes all of us happy, And if we get the cheese that you are looking for, we often become very attached to it. And if we lose it, or it's taken away, it becomes traumatic. Let's say, for example, if you have a job, a good job, you get attached to it, you give it your best, you enjoy the benefits. So in a way, you start becoming, loving what you are doing. The same case is also in a relationship. When you are in a relationship, you become attached to the relationship. You also you first give your best when the relationship is given, but we'll get to know as we go on what happens if we don't understand our cheese. So in the next slide of the cheese, Coach, please go to the next slide. This book of cheese is a very tiny book. It's a book that one can read in probably like in 2 hours, you're done with it. And it starts with introducing us about the cheese and how it makes us happy. In my perspective, I took it upon like my cheese is my job, my family, my home, my children, my car, the nice clothes, or the good friends that we have. So basically, when we are thinking about our cheese, we also think about now the element of the maize. The cheese in the maize, as per the book, represent how we spend our time looking for what we want. It is important, we are told that it is important to integrate the cheese and the maize. The cheese and the maize is, if we are working, it's good to integrate now the elements of when you are going to work. Don't leave your personal relationship behind. Don't leave your networks behind. Don't leave your family behind. When you are in that cheese, when you are enjoying our cheese, we are supposed to be integrating all the elements of cheese. Secondly, when you are thinking about cheese, I would like to share an example of what happened in this process. Early January, February, some change happened in my home. I had a house girl for like around 3 years. And why we are told we should always look at our cheese and try to notice some of the things that are happening. So all of us as women, we have had house help, and we could notice, you always notice when something is changing. But sometimes if we are overwhelmed by other activities, other cheeses, you really know when something is changing. So come one day, I'm off to work, and then the next time I find that probably she's out, but I had already seen the sign. So this makes us all women learn that as we chase around our other cheese like work, it's also good to notice the little changes that are happening around us. Like my perspective, when the cheese, in this perspective of my house manager, when she decided to probably get married, she had not prepared me very well, but I had already seen the signs. So when this change came, it was a little bit shocking, but I had already seen the sign because I had already started integrating the changes that I'm noticing. So let's move into the next slide, please, Coach. So our cheese, to enjoy all the cheese that we have in our lives, we have to be happy, and to be happy and content, we need to operate with a renewed understanding that change is constant. Nothing will remain as it is in our lives. Everything keeps on changing, and it is upon us to embrace the change it is come through managing our emotions that come at every phase of life. As before you become a mother, this is how you are. When you become a mother, this is how you are. When you start working in your job, there is that zeal that you start working with, but with time, maybe at a point you start relaxing. And we can see this perspective when you are reading the book. We see the M and ham and the sniff and scurry, and we are seeing how they started in the beginning with a lot of cheese, with a lot of money, with a lot of everything that they needed in one place. But it looked like somewhere in between, they enjoyed themselves. They forgot that something could be changing. Some things started changing around them, but they were not able to adapt quickly. So we need to ask ourselves, are we going to get stuck doing the same thing because it's comfortable despite no result, like M and ham? Or are we going to adapt to change and re-strategize on the new ways to achieve our goals, like sniff and scurry? So as we go on reading the book, we meet these characters, M and ham and sniff and scurry. These are maybe us ladies, all of us here. We could be M, we could be ham, could be sniff and scurry. We need all of us to constantly evaluate ourselves in the environments that we are in, so that we are not caught off guard like these little fellas. We go to the next slide, Coach. So about the story of these fellas who, in this perspective, it's ourselves, we need to understand that no one warns us about change. Like the example that I've given you about my house girl, the way I had already started noticing the changes that are happening. I could give her like a 1 week off, then she extend with 2 days, and I'm lenient. But now you see a change was coming, and it was upon me to discover what was happening. So in this perspective, there are many things that change, even in our workplaces. You see something shifting, an energy shifting, an attitude. Somebody, if you're a supervisor, you see somebody like your junior developing an attitude towards you, or you can see some perspective like these changes that happen in our workspaces. And sometimes if you are not, because change doesn't warn us, it doesn't ring a bell. When it catches us off guard, it causes disbelief, it causes a lot of disappointments, and it causes a lot of uncertainty. So this book teaches us that if we don't change, we become extinct. We have to get up and move with the cheese sooner, and have the courage to move away from our unfamiliar territory. Ask ourselves, if we were not afraid, what would you do? Like, for example, before I joined the book club, I was reading, but I was not consistent. But since I joined in season 7, I started becoming consistent in reading the books. I started becoming consistent in journaling. I developed the 2020 rule that is encouraged by Robin Sharma. You spend 20 minutes stretching. Believe me, I enrolled in a gym, but even before the gym, because change is unpredictable. You could wake up in the morning knowing that maybe your day will run as normal, but in between the day, you don't know what will happen. So because of now the discipline that I took upon myself, I make sure that every morning I do 15 minutes every day, because even though I'm in a gym, I don't know whether the time that I've allocated in the gym will be interpreted by something. So that intentionality that every day creating the 20-20 rule, exercise 20, you journal for about 10 minutes, and then you also, after journaling, you read the word of God, you reflect and you meditate, and then the other 20, you dedicate to reading. So in this perspective, you teach your body how to change, and it's like you are preparing it that it should not be comfortable in one familiar territory. Also, in the perspective of exercise, we are not supposed to do an exercise that we are used to every day, because even when you do an exercise you are used to every day, your body starts adjusting and it becomes comfortable and you don't notice any changes. So the other aspect of change is in the spirit of now getting up and having the courage to explore unfamiliar territory. You need to ask yourself if you are afraid. And you ask yourself, if I was not afraid, what could I do? So that in that perspective, you conquer fear, and you can only conquer fear if you take action. Next slide. So as we adopt to the change, and in our different cheese positions, we have to monitor change regularly in where you are, no matter where, whether in the church, whether at your workplace, whether in your home, whether in your relationship. You have to monitor change every time. And if you monitor, if it's in the workspace and something requires you to adopt, you have to adopt, because if you become stubborn and you are not open-minded, then you will close yourself up. You also have to have the spirit of moving with change, the change that is there. You have to adopt. I mean, you have to embrace change. And there's a small slide that has come that the more important your cheese is to you, the more you want to hold on it. So in that perspective, as we hold on into our different cheeses in our lives, we tend to hold on some of the things that are not even useful in our lives. So we need to develop the spirit of embracing change, adopting change, and changing immediately, so that it can move us to the next step. Then we have to learn that change is inevitable. We need to enjoy the little things that matter most in our lives. If it is our relationships, we need to enjoy our relationships. We need to enjoy also how we interact with our friends, with our children. Every one of us has a unique thing that you can give the circle that you are in. Enjoy it. Even when the cheese is in plenty, we need to remain consistent. If we need to analyze our relationship and know that they can change in any time. And that makes us not be in the comfort zone, because it's a dangerous zone. A routine without regular renewal and reflection kills our dream. So in that perspective, we are reminded again that we need the aspect of changing is an aspect that we need to embrace in our life every other day. So the aspect of change also teaches us that to never take anything for granted. Every day you wake up, it's a gift. Never take that for granted. The things that you have in your life, your gift of health, your gift of family, the gift of work, never take anything for granted. And when you practice gratitude, you also create very positive vibes around you that change even yourself and the people around you. It is good to understand that even though sometimes we put 100% effort in the things that we do, there are many dependencies that make the things happen according to how we want, or according to, they can also disappoint us. So in that perspective, we need to embrace change in everything. So for example, in the perspective of fitness that I've shared, you could have like a regular diet that you are following on a nutritional plan. Sometimes if you want to succeed, you have to be consistent. to reduce weight. When I joined this the season, I also had a lot of weight, but with consistency, I saw a nutritionist. I'm following the program. Sometimes it's not 100%, but I get back to myself and remind myself that I need to continuously change for the betterment. So sometimes you also frequently we begin with a lot of energy. Anyone beginning anything new, whether it's a relationship, a job, yani you are, if it's a relationship for some of us who are maybe newly in a relationship, the energy is different. Some of us who have been married for over 15 years, also the energy is different, but you need to embrace all the plateaus that come, the phases that come. We should not get stuck in any situation, whether it's losing weight, whether it's a nutritional plan, whether it's a job. We should always constantly continue to increase our skills and continue learning and adapting to the change that are around us. That can be done through developing a schedule, doing for yourself like a SWOT analysis of the things that how you have been doing as yourself. SWOT analysis, you analyze the opportunities within you, the strengths within you, the threats within you, and also you look at your strengths. The other aspect of change that we are told that that this book is making us learn is we should never feel entitled. We should always remain humble in all the circumstances, because the race is not swift or the battle. The race is not for the swift or the battle for the strong. It's always advisable to remain grateful for the small and little and big things that are much in our life. Embrace the spirit of gratitude every day, and that will make even the change process better. The other aspect that we need to embrace about change is our confidence. It makes you feel like you are lost. When fear sets in you, you start imagining all sorts of things. Like these characters, all of them, there is one particular one who stuck at that station because they were fearing, if we leave here, what are we going to get at the other side? But the ones who conquered fear, they were able to continuously look for stations that were filled with a lot of cheese. In that perspective, we also need to analyze the different situations in our lives and what we fear. Maybe you are in a bad relationship and you are fearing, when I come out of this relationship, what will people say? How will the society look at me? If I'm in this job that is toxic, what will happen when I leave it? How will I go? What will I find when I go wherever I am? So let's understand that situations change and we should not be caught in the circumstances off guard. It's always good to be observant. Let's monitor the trends in all the areas in our lives. Even in your relationship, if you monitor your relationship, whether it's in your circle, whether it's in your spouse, if you become very observant, you will monitor some small changes that are happening in the lives of either your children, your spouses, or in your job. So remaining observant is very good of the trends around you and your interests, so that you can know when it's time for you to shift. For those who are investing, like when you are also in the book club, Coach Lois will teach you about investing. I came here very naive without knowing I can invest. But even after being there, I developed my confidence in investing, buying land for myself without the fear of saying, I'm married, I cannot buy land for myself. I started even looking for like places to invest, like buying houses. So that confidence is something that comes when you stop the aspect of fear. So on learning about change, we need to realize that nothing lasts forever. And this ensures that we keep our eyes open for any approaching changes. Imagine the aspect of what you have, what you have created around you, knowing that it doesn't last forever. You will embrace people differently. You love people differently. You'll also do different things in your life, knowing that your time is limited as a person and you need to make your impact. So what do we need to do? We need to look to the future and not to be focused on what you are leaving behind. Believe that what you are looking for is ahead of you. That is in the process of change. If you want to take that leap of faith, you have to leave behind what is behind you. We also have to let go of the past by setting new goals and imagine yourself achieving those goals. You also have to start envisioning yourself in a new positive situation that opens yourself up to new ideas. So this is the energy, looking ahead, starting to envision yourself as a new person, as a new woman of excellence through adopting to various styles. When you move beyond your fear, you feel free. So when you move beyond what is behind you, when you move behind your fear, when you move behind very many things, you move ahead. So as we summarize to the end, we have to let go of our old beliefs, our old fears, and adopt to the various things that are listed there. On the wall, a summary of now what we have spoken in the book is, first, we have to learn that change happens every day. We also have to anticipate change in everything that we do. We also have to monitor change in all the circumstances, adapt to change quickly, change and enjoy the change. So in that perspective, let's be ladies who make a change in all as perspective in our lives. Thank you so much.
Well done, Liz. Wow, we are becoming catalysts of change. We have learned a summary and Liz's takeaways from the book, Who Moved My Cheese? And indeed, if you don't change, then, as Liz put it, you will be extinct. We are here to evolve. We are here to change. We are here to become better. We are here to improve. Who are you becoming? Have you smelled the cheese? Is it still there? Or you are stuck at station C? Wow. Let us hear now from the next. Let's find out about who these ladies are becoming. Thank you so much, Liz. Kindly appreciate Liz in the chat. That has been amazing. We are moving. We said this is an evening of learning. And remember, there is a surprise guest speaker. So don't move away. You will miss the nuggets if you move. Just stay right here because there is a surprise guest speaker who will just provoke you to the next level. So invite your friends. We are not yet done. Thank you. So now allow me to introduce our next speaker. Sorry, that was Elizabeth Mulai. We have CPA, Catherine Mugonya. When I asked her about her profession, she told me she's a senior accountant with the government of Kenya, working at Kenya Judiciary Academy. Catherine holds a Bachelor of Commerce degree with a minor course in community development. She's a certified public accountant. She has also undergone several courses in the process of becoming. Then she told me she's a wife. She's a mother to a daughter, 2 sons. Oh my goodness, and she has a grandson. So how many seasons has she been in the book club? She told me only 1 season, and that is season 14. When I asked her, are you enrolling for season 15 and why? Yes, I'm considering enrolling for season 15 because I am a self-driven person, ready to learn, and most importantly, believe in continuous focused improvement. And this resonates well with the season that is coming up. Then we have the second speaker. These are going to do this together. They're amazing ladies. They're just going to see how they're going to do it together because they're discussing the same book. This is Edith Kipsang. She's a wife. She's a mother of 2 amazing boys, aged 17 and 12. She's an ICT professional with 15 years experience and currently working for the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority in charge of ICT operations. She's passionate about digital transformation, not only personal, but also digital transformation and cybersecurity. Her hobbies include reading and swimming, and she is so happy that she joined the book club to be able to read more, learn more, and network with great women in this club. So Edith and Catherine, take it away.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good evening, ladies. And this has been a wonderful evening. We have been inspired, we've been challenged from the life stories that have been shared this evening. And today we'll continue from where Millicent left it on the book, What Got Me Here Will Not Get Me There. And I would want, first of all, to share a bit about my life. I joined the book club at season 14, thanks to my senior, Madam Rebecca in the house. Thumbs up to you. She's the one who introduced me. And that is part of our growth process, holding each other's hand and growing together. So thank you very much, Madam Rebecca. This evening, as I reviewed the book titled What Got You Here Won't Get You There by Marshall Goldsmith, I got curious to know about the author and why the coach chose that book for the book club. And I found out that he is a successful authority. He has helped above 120 CEOs in their growth, and that he was recognized as one of the 15 most influential business thinkers in the world. And this was done by the London Times and Forbes. And so I thought that was a great choice of a book. And the intention of the author was that the book is dedicated to successful readers like me and you who want to take it to the next level and even get better. So it's interesting that he dedicated this to people who are already successful. So where we are at is not our end. We need to grow further. And then he also wanted the book to serve as an essential guide to help us eliminate our dysfunctions to where we want to go. The author also explains that what we must do better, what we must do more of, what we must improve on, and importantly, consciously not doing some things that get into the way of our success. And so in doing this, because Millicent did a great job in reviewing the book, I want us to look at a matrix, what I call an evaluation matrix, to help us get better from where we are. And the author Goldsmith talks about 20 bad habits that we can work at to help us change from where we are. And I categorized the 20 habits into 4. When the first category is when we elevate ourselves over others. And this is bad habit because we are not helping the other person grow, and we most likely are not growing ourselves. So we elevate ourselves over others by the need to win at all costs, whether this matters, whether it does not, or whether it is totally besides the point for our growth. Then the second point is our overwhelming desire to add a 2 cents to every discussion. Do you ever feel the need to add to someone's statements, someone's suggestions, because we believe we are better than they are? Then there is the third point in passing judgment, because we want to weigh others against our own standards. We believe we are the best. We believe we have the best standards. And so we want to weigh others against those standards. The other thing is We like to tell the world how smart we are. And this gives an attitude of, you know, what you're telling me, I already knew. I'm sure our discussions this evening, most of us knew about them, but we don't practice. So the reminders and the discussions enrich our lives. So let's not hold into the things that we believe we know. Let's be open to hearing what the other person has to say. It grows us, even as we help that other person grow in their speaking. Then the other one is withholding information as a power game, and hopefully maintaining advantage over others. The other one is refusing to express regret for the things that we do that are not right. And we want to not apologize because it's painful and we cannot take responsibility for our actions. One of the speakers talked about always creating excuses. So we want to create excuses and not express regret. Then we pass the buck to any other person other than ourselves, because the mistake cannot be from me, it has to be from the other person. The other area Marshall talked about is not listening, an attitude of I don't care about what you're saying, you are wasting my time, and this amounts to disrespect. So this is a good area to evaluate ourselves and ask, how much am I elevating myself over the others, the people I live with, the people I supervise at the office, or the people who are my friends? The other category of bad habits is about negativity in life. We like to see the glass half empty and not half full. We make destructive comments through maybe sarcasms or what we call cutting remarks. And we think it makes us sound sharp or witty, but in real sense, we are killing someone's ambition, we are killing someone's growth process, or we are discouraging them from growing, or even discouraging ourselves. Starting with a no, I don't know how many of us here are guilty on this. You start with a but or a however. The author calls them negative qualifiers in life, and it shows that I'm right and you're wrong. So whatever discussions or whatever ideas you bring my way, I qualify it with but or no or a however. The other thing is speaking when angry. And this, I'm a parent to some teenagers, and I believe those who are parents here to teenagers know it can take a toll on us. And speaking to them when angry just messes the relationship with them. And also you may not get the opportunity to help them grow and advise them. The other is at the workplace. As supervisors, as bosses, as the person you are at the office, hold the other person's hand and walk them through in a way they understand, and the two of you come to an understanding. Then we have negativity, and we always want to show the other person why that will not work, why the things they're proposing will not work. And so we are never positive to the other person with their ideas and to help them grow. And finally, under that category is sometimes people give us feedback as a messenger in our lives to help us change, but we attack the very innocent person who is just helping us change our life habits because we believe we know it all and we cannot be told. Goldsmith continues with another category of bad habits, that is non-appreciation. We all like being appreciated for the work we do. I can see in the chats, all of us posting congratulation messages to the presenters. We like being told, well done at the offices. So what times do we claim credit for work that does not originate from us, and we do not give the credit to the person it is due to? Or failing to give proper recognition, praise a person for their good work or reward them for their good work. Or other times we fail to express gratitude. One of the previous speakers, I believe Millicent, spoke about this, that gratitude should be our automatic response. A thank you for every idea that you are given, because it provokes our mind and we go back thinking about what that person has said. How can I tweak what it is I'm doing to be better? Or even think about it to include it in the programs and projects that we do or in our lives. The other one is playing favorites. We want to reward people because they are our friends, because of the relationships we have with them, and not based on performance. These people feel treated unfairly, and it amounts to favoritism. So this part of the things we need to avoid as bad habits under non-appreciation. The last category under this is excuses. The many excuses we like to make for not doing something, we want to make it appear like it is a permanent fixture in our lives. I don't know how many times you've told a friend, a colleague, a family member, I am bad at returning calls. That's why I did not return your call. I am bad in remembering names. I am bad in, so what are we bad at? A time to evaluate. Then clinging to the past. So we always want to blame our non-performance or our failures to what happened to us in the past, or to people who came into our lives in the past and the contributions they had in our lives. We have been challenged that growth is looking to the future, looking to what is ahead of us, because our success and our growth is in what is ahead of us. Let the past be learning lessons and be steps that propel us to the future. The author graciously gives us an extra 21st bad habit, which can also be a good habit, goal obsession. It's a variable thing to work towards a goal if done in the right way, but it can be a root cause of annoying behavior when all we think is about achieving the goal, and we refuse to be empathetic and see the circumstances surrounding the walk to that achievement of the goal. So let's count the blessings and the achievements that we have made towards a goal and not look at it as a total failure, even though we've not achieved 100%. A step made is better than not being stagnant. The small steps, let us appreciate those. So as I finish, I want to share briefly first the personal benefits I've gained from joining the book club. Someone talked about the victory hour. And the victory hour is a time that you exercise, you pray, you study the Bible, you remind yourself to hydrate, and you affirm yourself that you are the best, that you're going to make it, that it's going to be better. And this has helped me in my life, I would say very holistic. And what I also call total transformation. I feel more healthy. My mobility has improved. I've been able to manage my weight. I feel youthful. I have read a book and reflected on it. I've read many other books in the past, maybe just to kill time or to, just filling into the spaces, but focused book study That is what the book club has given me. It has encouraged critical thinking because we challenge each other with nuggets of what we've learned from the books. And the coach keeps sending some reflective questions as we study along. So for me, the discussions have really been helpful in improving my critical thinking. It's also given me new perspectives to life and a good break from what I believed in the past was all I needed. It's given me a new perspective, and I'm doing new things consistently. I'm able to study, I'm able to exercise, able to eat healthy, able to drink water regularly, and able to account to someone. So my takeaway from the book and the book club, that we need to evaluate against each of the 20 habits in life, with your life, your job, and ask yourself, from these 20 habits plus the one makes 21, what am I guilty of? What is the problem area? And then work towards changing. What do you need to stop? What do we need to start? What do we need to do more of? And what do we need to do less of? And journal down how you're going to do this, how you're going to change. And then keep improving, keep going, sustain the change, and build in it. Take tiny steps and keep moving. The regular reflections on where you are at in your daily work will be very helpful at this. And finally, I recommend, if you're not already in the book club, join the book club. Season 15 is coming from April, and it will be a good place to start. I started by saying reading What Got Me Here Won't Get You There made me study about Marshall Goldsmith. I want to believe that in this life, that people will one day read about us because of the change that we've brought both in our lives and in the lives of those we interact with. Thank you very much. And now I wish to invite my co-presenter, Edith Kipsang, to take us away from here. Welcome, Edith. Thank you and good evening.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Catherine. That was super good. Edith, stop sharing, Kathy.
Coach, I believe you can now see my presentation.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, Coach?
Yeah, come closer to the mic. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Continue.
Thank you very much. And hello, ladies. And thank you, Coach, for this opportunity. As I proceed with where Kathy has left, one thing I want to add about myself also is about how I got to know about the book club. I was introduced to the book club by my colleague and mentor, Dr. Thera Waiteke, whom I gladly admire her leadership style. And she introduced me to the book club. And out of the book club, I got to know other amazing programs like the Rich and Royal, Confidence Blueprint, Unleash the Leader, and Reposition. So I'm looking forward to really learning more as I grow in my career and in my leadership. So picking up from where my two colleagues have taken us through, I'll take us through the section 3 of the book, how we can change for the better, where I'll take us through the 7-step method for changing our interpersonal relationship and making these things permanent. As Goldsmith clearly tells us in the book that wherever we go as leadership, however far we get to, most of our issues, most of the challenges that we go through why we are not able to achieve our full potential lies on our interpersonal relationships. So the first one is on feedback, where he tells us that we need honest and helpful feedback. And successful people have two problems, and they don't want to hear the feedback from the people around them, and the people around them also don't want to give it to them. So if we are open with our colleagues in the office, or the person we have identified that this one will give me feedback, are we honest that we really want to hear that feedback, so that the other person is able to give us honest feedback without withholding, and that we will not now get back to the bad habits we've been told of, punishing the messenger, or using the word that but or however in receiving that good feedback. Then also we should stop asking for feedback and expressing our opinion. This one has also been highlighted. Then in the feedback side also, there is the solicited and unsolicited, the blend side event, which also our first speaker mentioned. I don't want to go through this because of time. So the second one is apologizing. This Goldsmith says it is the magic move. He regards apologizing as the most magical, healing and restorative gesture human beings can make. So when it comes to saying sorry, it has to be intentional. When we say sorry, then what else? How are we planning to do it for the future? Let it come out clearly that we are sorry and I'll do better in future, so that we let go of the past. It is also a gesture to the other person that you are planning to get better. As much as in you've wronged them in the past or you've not been good in the past, you are planning to improve in the future. Then the third thing is on telling the world, advertising. Most of the time, I call it self-validation. You recognize and celebrate your progress. Most of the time, from my side where I sit, I'm not very good at telling the world or advertising. Even in my achievements, in the area of my achievements, I tend to downplay my achievements, but it is a good thing to tell and advertise, even when it comes to changing for better. How do we, if we tell it and repeat it, just the way politicians say when they are repeating things over and over, they want them that whatever they are saying sticks to you, to your mind. So when we repeat it, it sticks more. The fourth thing is on listening, active listening without interrupting or judging. So this is a skill that Goldsmith says that it separates the near great from the great. So what do great listeners do? They think before they speak. You can't listen if you are talking. So they also listen with respect, and they also ask, is it worth it? Whatever they are about to say as they listen, is it worth it? Will it put off the other person listening? So we need to employ the tiny tactics like we listen, we don't interrupt or don't finish another people's sentence. Or even when someone is praising you, you don't jump and say, yes, I agree. Just listen genuinely. Then being thankful, he encourages us that we should all get an A in gratitude. Nothing bad can come out of thanking, only good. So even the person who was really negative on the other side, a gesture of saying thank you is worthwhile. It is therapeutic. So even things like writing a thank you note to others also helps a long way in helping us get where we want to get. Then the sixth point is on follow-up. We have to take action on the feedback we receive. It is pointless if we are receiving feedback and we are not following it up to be able to improve ourselves. So lessons on follow-up is that not everyone responds to executive development. We we are all distracted by the day-to-day demands. So whatever works for another person will not necessarily work for you. So find how you pick up a follow-up style on the areas you need to change. Then people don't get better without follow-up. If we put, let me say the way the other writer on execution say, put a premium on execution. Even on follow-up, we should put a premium on follow-up. Have a follow-up routine with an accountability partner. This will definitely help us to change. And we will be happy, and the person also giving us feedback will be happy that we have changed. The seventh point is practicing feed forward. So we cannot change at everything. So the one behavior that we pick and we want to change will make a significant change in our lives. So if you want to be an example is, let's say you want to be a better listener. So the person you are picked as the one to give you feedback, let them really understand exactly what you want to do, and then they will be able to give you feedback and follow up, and then listen attentively to the suggestion that they give you. Whatever they give, ask them, how can I be better? I can give an example at home when I got a feedback from my son casually that, Mom, you always say this and you will not do it. After reading this book, I looked back and evaluated myself. Okay, this is how my son views me. So does it also imply in all areas of my life, in all aspects of my life? Because throughout reading this book, I realized that you cannot separate whatever happens in the office also from home. It is your character. So it helped me improve, and I asked, okay, what can I do better to improve? And the good feedback is really helping me improve in becoming a person of my word. Then in terms of when it comes to our flaws also, we leave it at the stream. We don't continue looking back and carrying the negativity, the things that pull us back. We should not keep carrying them. We leave that at the stream. Then the other thing, now that we are here, how do we apply the rules of change and what to stop doing so that we are able to get there? So the rules, the 8 rules, is that you may not have a disease that behavioral change can cure. Sometimes it is a skill. So not everything must change. Pick the right thing to change. You cannot change everything. In all those 21 habits, pick one. You don't have to change everything. Then don't hide the truth. Don't hide from the truth you need. You know really your weakness. You know the areas that you need to improve on. Don't hide that. And then there's no ideal behavior. Pick that works for you, and pick one thing that you need to change and change it. Then also measure it. If you can measure it, you can achieve it. Also, if you can, monetize the result and to create a solution. And the best time to change is now. It cannot be tomorrow, it is now. So then finally, the challenges that need to be addressed also as we focus on changing as leaders is stop letting your staff overwhelm you. It's good to be a mentor, to mentor others, but we should not overly allow our staff to overwhelm us. This is something I'm also learning. I'm practicing even in my workplace. There are instances that it's an open office, yes. So every time someone comes, you find yourself that you have wasted a lot of time. But creating that space and allowing your team to only come to you when really they need your help, and giving them that feedback will also help us to be able to achieve more. Then we should stop acting as if we are managing you. Then stop checking the box. This is also very practical to me, that I should not just move with, I need to improve on this, then I tick the box, yes, I've improved. I need to have follow-up. Then stop being prejudiced about your employees. Then stop trying to coach people who shouldn't be coached. In the workplace or wherever you are interacting with, you will always meet people also who really have no interest in changing. They are there to pass time, or so it's something that we need to challenge. It's a challenge for people in charge, that we should not waste our time coaching people who shouldn't be coached. So finally, my takeaway is mainly on feedback, as I have shared. I'll stop asking feedback and then expressing my opinion. On advertising, I'll begin to recognize and celebrate my progress. Feed forward, I'll not focus on the past. Then on the rules, these three key items, I will not delude myself about what I must change. I will not hide from the truth I need to hear. If I can measure it, I can achieve it. So I'll focus more on measuring how far I have gone in changing and improving myself. I will stop letting my staff overwhelm me, and I'll stop checking the box. So finally, I have two quotes here that I challenge all of us that we have to take an honest look at ourselves and get feedback from others to understand our bad habits. If we don't get feedback, we may not really know that self-awareness of our bad habits. Only by understanding our weaknesses is when we can make necessary changes to continue being successful. As we also strive to improve, there is a good chance that tomorrow is going to be just as crazy as today. Yes, today is not as yesterday, and you never know tomorrow. You may have planned to do this, then tomorrow you also have a lot of things at your table. If you want to change anything about yourself, the best time to start is now. Ask yourself, what am I willing to change now? Just do it. That's more than enough. Thank
Wow.
you, Coach.
Ooh. Thank you so much, Edith. Of course, what am I willing to change, and change it now? The message is clear, ladies and gentlemen. Now, allow me to invite our next speaker, who is going to be our guest speaker and is going to summarize something for us and provoke us, and then we shall listen to the last two speakers. Thank you and welcome. Let's see who is with us. Welcome. The guest speaker is on.
Thank you very much, Coach Lois. Much appreciation. Let's give it a round of applause to Coach Lois. Job well done. Thank you very much. And another round of applause to everybody who is present here. 46 of you. Keep clapping for them wherever you are. Thank you so much. And another round of applause to all the presenters. Good job. Well done.
Great. Can we see your face? Thumbs.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yay. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, please grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. I am going to challenge you. I'm going to shake you from your foundations in the next 10 minutes at most. It's going to be short and sweet. But I'm going to shake your foundations. You have read these books, but I'm going to put it in summary, the three of them, because the three books are speaking about one thing. Look at the title there. Dot, 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 becoming, then after becoming, dot, 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 meaning that there is no end. We're going to look at that analogy. We're going to look at how do we become? How do we end up saying that we have indeed become? And it's going to come closer to you. You have read about Who Moved My Cheese. You've read the book that is What Brought You Here, Won't Take You There. And you've also gone through Michelle Obama's Becoming. Please look at the titles of these books. Michelle Obama's book is not became. It's not become. It's becoming. Present, continuous tense. And there is a lot to learn from there. And I would like us to understand the journey and the process of becoming in a very short period of time but I will provoke you. But what are you going to talk about for the next 10 minutes when you're talking about the journey to becoming? The first question is, become what? Becoming what? Why have I put that question? Never celebrate other people's becoming without celebrating your own. You'll be the greatest failure in your life if you are out to celebrate other people's becoming and you are not celebrating your own. If you bought this book to celebrate Michelle Obama, if I was not diplomatic, I would tell you shame on you. But unfortunately, I've said it. That's part of the shaking. Never celebrate other people's becoming without celebrating your own. And that puts a lot of pressure on yourself, that you owe it to yourself to become the best version of yourself, not to walk around telling us about somebody else who has become. Ladies and gentlemen, question number 2 that you're going to look at is, when will you become? When do you think you'll become? And number 3, which I have in the presentation merged with number 4, is 3A. Who will make you become? Who do you think will make you become? And the second part of it, which is number 4 here, but in the presentation is 3B, is what will make you become? And finally, how will you know that you are in the right path to becoming? Because the title is becoming, present continuous tense, not became, not become, present continuous tense. So if you ever live to a point, I want to go ahead of it to number 4. If you ever came to a point where you can say, nimefika, I have arrived, that is the first proof that you have not become. Let us handle it now. Number 1, becoming. Becoming what? What is this becoming? It is becoming the person you are meant to be. And the question is, as an individual, what was I meant to be? When I was born in this world, what was I meant to become? Have I become that person? Am I in the journey of becoming that person? It is stepping out of what others have negatively programmed you to become, because we are all programmed by others. What have others programmed you to become? Your friends, your aunties, whatever it is. What have they programmed you to become? What have your teachers and lecturers programmed you to become? What have circumstances programmed you to become? And what has society programmed you to become? What has your past programmed you negatively to become? And that's why at the very bottom there is a very interesting quote. And it says what? Most people die at age 25, but they are buried at 70. Why 25? Because by age 25, others have already programmed you negatively, so you behave like them. Circumstances have programmed you negatively, you behave like them. Society has programmed you negatively, you behave like society. Let me come close to you. Could there be a possibility that you talk like your parents? Could there be a possibility that you quarrel like your auntie? Could there be a possibility that the same sting that was in your mother or father is the same one that we see in you? Food for thought. By the way, I forgot to warn you. There will be only 2 outcomes out of this. You will either get annoyed and run away completely from the book club, or you'll be quiet completely with yourself and asking yourself, what have I just heard? Why do you talk like so-and-so? Why do you carry behaviors and patterns from your family and they seem to be running over and over, but you're not happy with the behaviors? It's because you have, in one way or another in that area, been programmed negative. You are not meant to be programmed that way. You are meant to be different. And that's why this few months that you've gone through in becoming are very, very critical. So let's move on. When will you become? Everybody wants to become. And I want us to answer very quickly. I said, I'm not keeping you. You got to be sharp, quick, Get the point? We move to the next. When will you become? You will become when you personally choose. Nobody can choose for you, unfortunately. You will only become when you personally choose. Your husband can't choose for you. Your friend can't choose for you. Society can't choose for you. Your job can't choose for you. Your money can't choose for you. Your everything can't choose for you. It is you and you alone to choose personally to become. It is your decision. And you can make it tonight, and the journey will go on. You might have read all those books, but you've not made the decision to become. You've not personally chose to become. It is you to personally choose. And how do you begin the journey of personally choosing? You answer that one question. Who do you really want to become? If you were to pick a piece of paper and ask yourself that question, what do you really want to become? And the next question will be, is that really what you want to become? Take time tonight before you sleep. And it may take you days, by the way, to answer that question. But you must answer it if you have to become. What do you really, really, really want to become? And now let's start sweeping some of the things that you think you should become. Now, who will make you become? And what will you become? Let's ask ourselves, if you have money, have you become? I said you may end up getting annoyed. If you have all the money in the world, and don't get me wrong, you must have the money. And if you don't have the money, you have no business being in the book club, and you have no business being in this world. I repeat, you must have the money. But is that what will make you to become? Are you aware there are times you can have the money, but still not have become? I would like you to read Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, and read it again and again. When did she write it? After the White House. And there is a place where she says she's seated in Chicago and she's alone. The security detail is not there. And she goes on and explains, White House is not there. The presidency is not there. The trappings of power are not there. And she's writing about becoming after White House. Food for thought. Your certificates, are they the ones that will make you become? Are you aware that after age 60, your certificates will be pieces of paper if you are not careful? And I'm not stopping you from having certificates. I have several degrees and I'm still pursuing others. I keep collecting certificates. But the point is, as you collect all these things, be aware that they are all not by themselves what will make you become. I repeat, all these things that I'm putting here are not the ones that will make you become. Let me continue with the list. When you have all the vehicles and the latest, have you become? And what happens if it crashes or it's overtaken by the latest make or it's stolen? What happens? What will you tell us? Or it's swept by floods? Will you still say, I have become? If it's removed, thought-provoking. If you had all the property, and you must have all these things, don't get me wrong. You must have all these things. Have you become? When you have all the property? Hey, while on that, an unfortunate example, last year or thereabout, there was a major earthquake in Turkey. And there was a story that was going around. One man said that before the earthquake, the landlord was so ruthless to him. And then he wrote, after the earthquake, I've just seen him in the next internally displaced person's tent next to me. So had this landlord become, if all his life was tied to the property, had he actually become? I said, if you're emotional, you will knock off. But I'm leading somewhere. I'm leading you to some place. Is it when you have all the beauty, have you become? food for thought. And when you have the figure as a lady, have you become? And you must have all these things. And when you have all the titles, the big titles, have you become? I take you back to the time when Michelle Obama wrote her book. It's not when she had the title First Lady. Something to learn there. Supposing the title is taken away and you thought it's the one that had made you to become, what then? If all these things are taken away, what then? And is it Coach Lois who will make you become? The point is this: all these are good things, but they are facilitators towards you becoming. By themselves, they are not going to make you become. They are facilitators. They facilitate you into becoming something. In other words, don't tie yourself to them and say, I have become, because all of them are temporal. All of them come and go. All of them are cheese stations. What you are seeing in front of you are cheese stations. And cheese stations, like Spencer says, change. Every one of these things does change. These are cheese stations. Which is your cheese station? I'm coming straight to you. Which is your cheese station that you have stationed yourself there and you have gotten stuck there? And if it's moved, you are lost. If in fact not moved, if it's shaken, you are fighting until you fall sick. If somebody scratches your car, you fight until you have blood pressure. Yet you could have still talked nicely to the person and the car would get fixed. If you lose the title, you are fighting all over the world, going even to ICC to regain your title until you lose all your savings, fighting for a title that is not worth it. I am calling you higher than all these cheese stations. Have you tied your soul and heart to all these cheese stations that you can injure yourself running after them? You must have them, but you must not be a Siamese twin with them. They are cheese stations. So what will make you become and who will make you become? Because like I've said, they're all cheese stations and they'll move. And you will ask yourself, who moved my cheese? Why do people get into depression when they lose titles? Why do most ladies get into depression and stress when they are left by their significant other? It's the same thing. They had stationed themselves in a cheese station and thought they have become. You must differentiate the two. These are facilitators, facilitating cheese stations for that period of time, help you to become, but by themselves, they are not what will make you to become. What will make you become? Only one person, you. The most important person in this equation of becoming is you. And that is the person that we are addressing. You must have these facilitators, but don't forget to tie yourself to them to a point where you can kill, you can send hitmen because of all these cheese stations. Who moved my cheese? It can be moved by circumstances of other people. And your mindset, your paradigm will determine how you become. If your mindset is that you are married to these things, you will even go and look for a gun to kill someone when you lose any of them. It's your mental attitude. That's where we begin. Have the right mental attitude to know that these are cheese stations. Whatever achievements you gain here are facilitating you into becoming. Don't stop in that cheese station. If you have a good figure, don't stop there, because that's a cheese that will move. With time, maybe after getting a baby or two, the figure may go. Something may happen. So what happens to that cheese station? It has moved to something else. What becomes of you when it's not there? When all these things are not there? Your mental attitude. We are saying you must have completeness beyond all these things. You must be complete beyond these things. That's when you say, I have really become. I'm in the journey of becoming. So do you have the completeness With or without these things, you must have them. But in case they disappear, will you have completeness? Or will we find you in hospital with some machines making some funny noises just because you lost any of these things? Peradventure. Food for thought. 3B, what will make you become? The third or fourth question in the list. It is that which will remain after everything is gone. After everything has lost value, it is that which remains is what will make you become. After you've lost the figure, what remains? Do you lose your self-esteem because the figure has gone because of childbearing or because of age? Or do you lose your self-esteem because you've been trying the weight to go and the weight is refusing to go? You have not become. And if you lost the money, and if peradventure you may trust the wrong people, you guarantee the wrong people, and your property is all swept. And you are saying, I've become when I had that property. Have you become? What remains after? What remains after all these things have significantly been impacted? It is that which remains, which is you, and it is in you. The becoming is in you, it's not external of you. And you'll see it. That's why I've said it is you. That's what we are interested in, you. All these other things around you are facilitators. They make you become, but don't forget we are talking about the you, the person. If you read Michelle Obama's book carefully, she's talking about herself. Now that the security is not there, now that the trappings of power are not there, now that the title is not there, I am now. That's your question. What is the value in you if everything that you are bragging about vanished? The title is not there, the certificates are not there. Don't tell me I will still be called former immediate human resources manager. People in HR know already there is no such a title in the organo chart. There is no title like former immediate. If you ever find somebody calling themselves former immediate, they did not become. They were only banking on a title. And that's why they can't let go. If you take away the title, they are nobody. And that's why the challenge that I pose to you is, yes, it's good to have all those titles and certificates and everything. But what are you? If you ask somebody, who are you? What are you? They'll tell you, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. No, you're not a doctor. You practice medicine. Or I'm a lawyer. No, you're not a lawyer. You practice law. That's not who you are. Don't confuse the two. What is the value in you? If everything vanished out of the list that I showed there, if it was not there, what remains in you? Now that is the one that takes you to becoming. And that's why what brought you here won't go get you there. If it's your first class honors that brought you here, it won't get you there because after 60 years, we don't need the first class honors. If it was your figure that brought you there, it won't take you there because there's a time it will be invalidated or challenged by age, by childbearing, by everything. If it was the money, the property, which you must have, all these things, but they won't take you there because all of them are transient. If it's the position, remember the seat that you're sitting on with that position. Somebody was sitting on it. Somebody will sit on it after some time. What is the value in you if all those things have come to their end? Will the cheese have moved? Or will you have discovered a new cheese station? And I would like to finally ask, how will you know that you're on the path to becoming? Only one thing. And if you grasp this, you will now understand why I was saying all the others were facilitators. Inner peace with yourself. You are at peace whether you have a first class or not, yet you must have it. You have inner self-peace. Whether that man wakes up and tells you, I am packing and going, you have inner peace. You have inner peace whether you invested in stocks, and the stocks crashed and you lost every saving, you have inner peace with self. Because you are so high, you know, I'm the one who made that money that got lost in the stock exchange. I can still make another money tomorrow. You are at such peace, you know, that I can manage, I'm still there. I'm not tied to this thing. You are so much at peace with anything happening. Oh, the car has been swept by floods. I'm not going to have stress. Or the property has been shattered by an earthquake. I'm not going to have pressure because you are so high, you understand. The same person who managed to get that property will get double, can get double. That is where inner peace comes, because you knew all these things facilitated you to become. You are not what is external of you. You are what is inside of you. And as long as you have understood that you are the potential inside of you, you have inner peace with yourself. You can still get more money. You can still be valid in the market, relevant. You are not defined by one cheese station, called a certificate, called beauty, called age, called this. That does not define you. You are not defined by a single cheese station. If one moves, you have several other cheese stations you are moving with. You are not stuck with one. That's why that cheese station that made you will not work now. It won't bring you here. And I would like to challenge you and leave you with these scriptures. I agonized about it. I didn't want to put it there. But I would like you to look at those scriptures when you get only 2 verses, and you'll understand what it means to become. Paul says, I am at peace, in paraphrasing. I am comfortable when I have plenty, and I'm also comfortable when I have nothing. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, all I'm telling you is don't waste your time in this journey climbing the wrong ladder. Find the right ladder. Climb the right ladder. There are so many ladders that I put, which I called cheese stations. Don't keep climbing one ladder and thinking that you have become. Find the right ladder, and you'll be so much at peace with yourself. And I know one thing, this is quite high, but if you take time and think about it, you will live longest. Your beauty will not fade. Our beauty fades because we are running around the same different ladders that are not making us to become. If you find the right ladder, it will give you inner peace with yourself, and you are comfortable. You are becoming. Coach Lois, please take it away.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's appreciate Mr. Tomato in the house.
Amazing.
Amazing, amazing, profound. This is it. Yes, I want to see it in the chat. Wow, wow, wow. Please drop the microphone. Mumbi, you want to do that? Oh, great. What an evening. What a summary. What a provoking session. This is what we call unlocking the power of coaching. Provoking questions to take you to the next level. Amazing. Wow. Seriously, this is it. Becoming. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see that in the chat. Appreciate Mr. Tam Tam. Tomato is his name. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing. Great. Who are you becoming? When will you become? Wow, wow, wow. Short and sweet that it is. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, wow. Great. Yes, yes. Great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Oh, great. Thank you, ladies, for just being here. for listening to all our speakers this evening and for crowning this with our guest speaker who has really done it. And we appreciate you, Mr. Tomato. As Mumbi says, you never disappoint. You are always there. And we are so happy to be mentored and coached by you. And we have great takeaways to move us to the next session that is season 15. Yes, let them come, let them come. We have learned the power of feedback. So let them come. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is past 9. We can't move on. I mean, this has been almost 3 hours. It has been almost 3 hours. So what I will do, the other 2 presenters, if you allow me, ladies, I will have another meeting just before, as we set the pace for season 15. We will have the 2 ladies to share with us their takeaways. This is important because as you share to others, it will hold you accountable. So Rebecca Kiplagat, we'll have you in the next meeting coming very soon, in the next 1 week or so. We have Abhishag, Joe, is it Abhishag? I think so. There was somebody remaining. Yes, I think it's Abhishag. Will have you in the next meeting. So don't worry. You'll have your presentations ready as we set the pace for the next meeting. And who knows? We might have Mr. Tomato setting the pace again for us as we enter season 15. As you already know, season 15 starts on 2nd April. So don't miss it. Don't miss it, ladies. Invite your friends. Remember, there is still the discount. If you bring somebody new in the book club, you get yourself 50% back. We have ladies here who have something worth like 6,000. They can apply it in any program. Elizabeth Mulai, you have not yet claimed yours. You still have it. You'll claim it. You see? So we are learning together, we are becoming. So I don't want to dilute anything that we have had this evening. So digest on it, as you have said, before you sleep, think about those provoking questions. It has been a great evening. We have warmed our seats. We have invited our family and friends. I'm sure we are more than 40 in the background because we are listening together as a family. We are listening together with friends. We are impacting not only our lives, but the generations to come. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for staying until past 9. I can't take this for granted. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. God bless. Thanks. Now I'm reading the chat. Thank you. You may leave. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lois?
Thank you. Yes, Joyce?
No, I was just appreciating the afternoon, the evening. It's been great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the feed forward. The surprise was wow. Thank you. Fire. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. See you in the next meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so much. I hope you are in one of the groups. I'll share this recording in one of the groups. So stay there. Thank you. Have a good night. You may leave. That has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Welcome, Eunice.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was superb.
Thank you. Director Lasoy, you may share your number. Do you have a number I can reach you? Apart from the email, you can share it down there. Lasoy, kindly. Okay, yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.